how many times have you wondered, salary is credited, and the very next day you're like, मेरे सारे पैसे कहाँ गए? There was a survey done to see like where urban women at least are putting their money. I have this continuous FOMO of saving money. Like I'm missing out on saving money. And if you go at the higher CEO or executive level roles, there are lesser women in leadership roles.
Women have been so resourceful throughout history. They know their way around money, but somehow, when it still comes to owning their money or owning financial decisions, they still kind of take a step back.
Namaste and welcome to Nari Rasa podcast. I am Namrata.
I'm Richa.
And we are bringing to you conversations that women are missing. For today's topic, we have a topic that is not very close to our hearts, but at least it's close to our pockets. That is the relationship that women have with money. And Rich, I want to ask you this question. What does money mean to you?
Well, earlier it was just something I had to earn. कि भाई कॉलेज जाना है, पैकेज कितना मिलेगा.
Okay.
But over the years it has changed and I've understood now that money is just another form of energy.
Okay.
I think it is something that quantifies how much you give to the world. So it is a form of energy. In exchange of your value to the world, what you get back is the money.
Wow, that's a very fresh perspective. I was going for more like I view money as security to do whatever I want whenever I want, kind of.
Yeah,
Yes,
that
well-
too. It's a form of freedom, right?
Yeah, it's freedom. For me, it is freedom and
Right.
security. So, okay, glad to have that perspective. So, for you, money is energy.
Energy, yes.
Okay, wow, such a mind-opening definition of it. Then, how do you look at it in terms of when it comes to spending money or where you're gonna put your money? So, you're receiving the energy for the work that you're doing, for the
Right.
value you're adding in the world,
Right.
right? So that's money for you.
Right.
And how do you view it when you're handling it?
So I feel like it's like a river flowing, कि money आ रहा है तो money जाना भी चाहिए.
Yeah.
So I spend it quite freely, generously,
Okay.
but which also means honestly that I don't save much of it or have not given much conscious thought about the investment or saving part of it. तो money आता है, money जाता है, and if I want to buy something and it is something out of my reach for right now, so I don't look at my savings because honestly वो नहीं है ज़्यादा. I look at कि okay incoming कैसे बढ़ाऊँ मैं उसके लिए.
Okay.
So that's my whole perspective in spending money.
Spending money.
Right.
I think I have somewhat similar, but I have this continuous FOMO of saving money. Like I'm missing out on saving money. But then I think that is what is at the core of today's topic that I want to discuss. How do we own the money? And do women actually own the money that they are earning? Or is it just going haywire and
Right.
spending
Right.
and not really creating or growing the wealth
Right.
that they have already?
Even I have that FOMO बीच बीच में आता है कि यार एक पोर्टफोलियो होना चाहिए, सेविंग होनी चाहिए. बीच बीच में आता है मुझे.
Yeah.
So I think there's a lot of scope for me to manage my money well.
And does that FOMO come from what your peers are doing or what your husband is doing or what other people or male friends are doing around you? Because for me at least, I have spoken to most of my male friends and they are the ones who are investing.
Okay.
Yeah, investing like actively in
Right.
mutual funds and stocks, etc.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, even my husband is investing and many times it is me who is telling him कि अच्छा यहाँ पे invest करो.
Okay.
But yeah, so I think of that corpus as ours. But the FOMO आता है बीच में कि एक portfolio होना चाहिए. I think it comes when again if there is an emergency or there is something I can't afford, then और लोगों को देख के तो नहीं, but if social media पे I see something, you know, there is finance with Sharan उसके reels आते हैं कि you need this much to retire, you should have this much corpus in saving. So then I think कि हाँ होना तो चाहिए but नहीं है मेरे पास.
There was a survey that was taken, and men and women both were asked, "Do you invest?" And men were more likely to give an affirmative answer about them investing their money than women. I know now you're an entrepreneur, but at some point you had a regular 9 to 5 job,
Yeah.
and you also used to get a paycheck.
Right.
And it has happened with me a lot of times. That's why I'm asking you this. How many times have you wondered, salary is credited, and the very next day you're like, मेरे सारे पैसे कहाँ गए?
Oh yeah, that's very common. That was very common. If not one day, 1 week में तो, because first week is when you pay the bills and
Yeah.
everything. Or you have this list of things you have been wanting to buy, especially when you're starting your career. Disposable income नहीं
Yeah.
था इतना.
Yeah.
So definitely that has happened many months for me.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
by 15th of the month, I'm like, यार पैसा कहाँ गया?
Yeah, it has happened with me also on multiple occasions. Then there was also a survey done to see like where urban women at least are putting their money, and for most of them it's at least in the age of 30, it's more like a hand to mouth situation. They're spending more on their wants and needs instead of more or less planning for the long term planning, future planning. So until now, at least, let's go back a bit, like at least till our mom's generation or generation before us, women have mostly saved money where? In what? I think कभी तो चावल के डब्बे में कुछ पैसे रहते थे, या फिर there's this icon or a picture in front of my eyes that women mostly they get the money and then they put it in their blouse. So till now, their savings bank have been. It sounds very wrong, but it's been their blouses or घर के डब्बे,
Right.
किताबें, and I remember demonetization के बाद me finding 1,000 rupee note inside a book, stuffed inside a book, तकिए के नीचे, bed के नीचे, like these were the savings account that women, being how resourceful they are in generally, that's where they used to put their money.
Yeah.
Mostly.
By the way, blouse से मुझे याद आया, मैं अभी भी वो करती हूँ.
Wow, richa.
Because whenever I travel internationally, so you don't keep all your euros or dollars in one place, right? And what if you get robbed, your pickpocket ने ले लिया आपका पर्स? इसके लिए मैं कुछ कैश अलग से रखती हूँ. And I don't want to carry multiple bags or in my pocket. I just put it in my crop top का blouse.
Oh, wow.
It's safe.
In general, women's clothing didn't have.
Yeah.
The manufacturers never considered that women would be carrying a lot of money.
Yeah, true.
So they never designed pockets
Right.
and size. में तो चलो not possible. But
Right.
even pants अभी तक भी we are getting like smaller pockets, and even kurtas में तो and dresses में अभी pockets आने शुरू हो गए. So do you know where Indian women are mostly putting their money or saving money in?
I would say gold होगा.
Gold, yeah. Looking at the social aspect of how important, how Indian society is very centered towards marriage of a girl. So, saving for jewelry, like even our parents, dads, moms, they have this thing that they have to save for the daughter's wedding.
Right.
So they keep buying jewelry like right when they were born.
Yeah, right.
From when the girl is born. Correct.
Kuch cultures में like when the girl is born, from then only they start buying jewelry
Right.
and saving for her
Right.
wedding sort of.
Right.
So you're right. Gold is like the second most asset where money is put. The first is FDs and savings account.
Okay.
So women are saving. The saving pattern for them has been mostly a very conservative one. While like just comparing it with men versus.
Yeah, I was about to
Yeah.
ask, like, how is it different for women than for men?
So it is a bit different for women. Like they look at more long-term results and they look for more security. Especially the surveys that I went through, especially for this podcast, they highlighted women look more at security, retirement, family planning, childhood. Their children, security for their children and themselves. So they were more likely to put money in very safe investment options that would give good long-term returns.
So, like, lesser risk.
Lesser risk. Versus men put their money more aggressively into different investment schemes, or more likely to put more in stock market, mutual funds, or anything else, like invest in a plot, buy land. So women own lesser, fewer women own land.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense. I think अभी भी मेरे आसपास मैं देखती हूँ और मेरे ग्रुप के साथ देखती हूँ that women are not taking the major financial decisions like buying a land, buying property. But even for small amounts, women are like, okay, wait, let me consult someone. So वो financial decision लेने में घबराती है काफी सारी औरतें.
Okay. Of course, maybe it's coming from a place because they don't earn. They are secondarily, like second hand getting the money, right? They are not the
No,
primary or
but
earning person.
Yeah, maybe not primary, but I'm talking about women who are earning as much
Okay.
as their husbands,
Okay.
or maybe even more.
Okay, but still they feel
Yes,
like they
these
have
are
to consult.
yeah, these are women working in big IT firms in metro cities. But even there, I see that the way women take financial decisions is different from men.
Okay. So there's still a lot of consultation that's taken from the male members, and I think if we rightfully jump into the evolutionary aspect of it, men were considered the primary breadwinners, like right from the beginning. Men used to go out hunt, bring the food, give it to the woman, and it evolved in that way, right? And even until the last or the second last generation that we had, men used to go out work, and women were not even allowed to work in some countries or even allowed to vote.
Right.
So, and I think in America or somewhere, if you were not married or if you didn't have a male member accompanying you, you couldn't even open a bank account.
Oh.
So there were all these policies that were not super in favor of women,
Right.
to save, to earn, to go out, to have financial independence altogether.
Right.
So I think those factors have played a major role. What do you think? What are the other things that you've seen in society that you think are holding women back somewhere to own the money that they earn?
I think it's not just about a women's right and money, it's the whole mindset of I come secondary.
Okay.
Like we also spoke about in the autoimmune medical exclusion podcast, ki women are like secondary.
Yeah.
So it's the whole mindset of putting yourself last.
So the primary breadwinner is the man and primary caregiver is the
Is
woman.
the woman, and even if she gets 100 rupees, women tend to think more ki, okay, what needs to be done for my family, for my children, and her needs come last. It is this mindset of I come last, which is not letting her own the money and taking up, investing it properly maybe. Yeah, that comes to my mind.
Okay. I think that's completely true. And looking at that, women's lives are disrupted a bit more than the lives of men, because if I look at the number of women who have to shift or move when they get married,
Alright.
or when they get pregnant and they have to sort of leave their career or put their career as a
Yeah, they have to change job.
they have to change jobs,
Right.
or they have to leave their jobs altogether, they have to quit. And what else? If there is a sick member of the family, then you usually turn towards women and expect them to either leave their jobs or maybe make it a part-time or
Right.
do a work from home to take care
Right.
of the sick person at
Yeah.
home, right?
Right, and then maternity break, right?
Maternity break.
That can really set you back in terms of how much you're going to earn in the next 10 years, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. So all these migrations, these kind of hinder or put a brake to the progress that women are having and with their earning potential also. So when you switch jobs, you sometimes have to maybe negotiate on a lesser salary if you move to a new place. Mostly, I think there is a salary escalation when you switch jobs or change careers, but
But not if there's a break.
not if there's a break, not if you're returning back after a long maternity.
Yeah, you are even questioned why you have such a big gap in your
Yeah.
CV. Have you updated your skills?
Yeah, and yeah, of course, especially in the corporate world, skill sets are being updated at such a fast pace.
Absolutely.
There is AI, and So many things are coming, and I don't really feel it's the equal playground for women as men when it comes to the earning potential. And if you go at the higher CEO or executive level roles, there are lesser women in leadership roles,
Right.
and there are lesser fewer women who are billionaires or millionaires.
Right.
So it's, I think we have still come a long way, but there's still like a longer way to go
Yeah.
to reach that gender parity in terms of what.
True. Speaking of equal playground, now this covers a little bit of feminism, but I heard something very interesting this week on a podcast, which was talking about how the American feminism is different from European feminism.
Okay.
So, in American feminism, the premise is that we are equal, we want to earn equal. But the European one is more realistic and it says that we are not equal. We have more roles to play, we have more caregiving to do, we have to nurture children. We are not equal, so support us with child care and family care plans and all of that. And then that will allow us to compete or have an equal playground with men.
That's
Without
true.
that, you cannot just expect a woman to walk into workplace and say, hey, I want equal
That's true.
recognition and pay.
That's true. In the Western countries, at least, it's still being discussed about. I'm not sure what the Indian scenario is because so many of Indian women do unpaid labor. I think in urban situation, if you see, it's more than 30% of women who are doing unpaid labor.
Right.
And on an average, if you see, I think I read it in a study, 7.5% of India's GDP would be covered if we started paying women for
For the
household work that they do, for the unpaid labor, fixing something, doing the laundry, cooking, cleaning,
Right.
caregiving for an
Right.
older person. You're taking care of the child.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was an astounding number that if we started paying women for the unpaid labor that they do,
Right.
it would be 7.5% of India's GDP. Yeah.
And that's actual time and effort and mental energy gone into something.
Yeah.
ऐसा नहीं है कि क्यों count कर रहे हो.
Yeah.
Because real resources are going into that.
Yeah.
Richa, since you became an entrepreneur, how has it been for you? And how did you see your finances change?
I think it got more discipline in my personal finance as well
Hmm.
because I was never really preparing a personal profit and loss sheet for my personal finance.
Hmm.
I think कोई नहीं करता बट करना चाहिए हमको कि कितना पैसा आ रहा है कितना जा रहा है कितना इन्वेस्टमेंट में जाना चाहिए at what rate your portfolio is growing all of that. You don't pay attention but once you start with the business you have to pay attention when it comes to business expense कि okay मैम monthly expenses so much for my business इतना तो मुझे बनाना ही पड़ेगा. That is there. And then I thought that okay, this is how I think about money in my business. So I should have a similar template for my personal finance as well.
Wow.
So it brought more discipline, more structure to how I think about finance and money.
That's really nice because I wouldn't think that if I was getting, I know that my salary is going to come every month.
Correct.
So I haven't personally, like, I have a small savings plan, but I wouldn't have really paid attention to how am I spending money
Right.
before this.
Right. Yeah, and there's so much to learn, you know. Last week only I did like a webinar around credit cards about how you can manage your credit cards properly so that you can earn reward points and
Okay.
the money that you spend on your credit card, you can get up to 4 to 5% return on that in terms of vouchers, offers, and flight bookings.
Okay.
मतलब तुमने 1 लाख अगर स्पेंड किया क्रेडिट कार्ड के यू कैन गेट 4 to 5,000 in rewards in or in monetary benefit. So nobody thinks like that about their credit card.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody thinks about that with their savings also कि कितना percentage मुझे return मिल रहा है.
With credit card, I think I have seen the way men and women spend money is mostly the same until their 30s. I read it in a research. And After 30s, it is seen that men are likely to still default on their bills, while women were more regular with the bill payments.
Oh,
So I'm not sure what it has to do with 30 and turning 30, but
I think 30 is a point where most women get married.
I guess
तो शायद marriage के बाद
marriage, have kids,
you have
or at least develop that sense of that I'm getting old and I have to, getting the responsibility and following rules.
well,
Yeah, I think that's an interesting statistic.
bachelor after.
I I don't know. I think men are more interested to buy cars because I was seeing this study and it said women are likely to invest in a long-term investment, buy gold, probably think about buying a land or invest in a business, but men would rather buy a car or PS5 for that reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, PlayStation. Yeah, but I think that's where there there are little bit of differences that come into play when handling money. Keeping on the topic of your entrepreneurship, would you ever consider taking a loan to grow your business?
Yes. To
You
grow
would.
my business, yes. If I have a proper model कि
Hmm.
1 रुपए डाल के 2 रुपए आने वाला है,
Hmm.
that's what business is.
Okay.
Then I would. But apart from that, I'm very wary of loans.
Hmm.
I don't like that on my head.
Yeah.
But I have now learned that in certain situations it can be beneficial. Like
Yeah.
taking a home loan can save you a lot of money in tax, income tax.
Yeah.
तो वहाँ पे लेना चाहिए. Business लोन तो definitely लेना चाहिए, especially if you have a business which can multiply your
Hmm.
money. I know this theoretically, but I have not taken loan for my business, and I'm still wary of taking loans.
Hmm.
Like now I want to grow it to a next point. तो मैंने loan नहीं सोचा. I thought, okay, how can I borrow from my friends
Yeah.
and family या
Yeah.
मेरे savings से निकालूं.
Hmm.
So there's a difference in what I know in theory and what I'm putting in
Yeah.
practice.
Yeah. Why I brought up loans is because the study showed that women are twice as less likely to be granted a loan. So their loan would be rejected more than a man's loan. There are many reasons. Uh, I think the first reason is they don't have anything to show as a guarantee when they are getting the loan. I don't know about what kind of, if there is a confidence issue that the people who are guaranteeing the loan, if that
Sure,
comes
there
into
must
play.
be a bias. There's a bias in almost all
Yeah,
facets of
yeah,
life.
yeah. But it's because they women can't really show a guarantee for the loan that they are getting from the bank. So that is like one of the biggest reason that the loans are
Makes sense.
rejected.
If they're not buying land,
Women have not owned money, owned land, owned businesses before,
yeah.
owned assets before. So yeah, so I think those factors come into play a crucial role for that.
Right.
I want to highlight some of the places where women can invest. What comes to your mind where you think where you can invest?
Based on what I've done, mutual funds and equity is best. It gives best return. Although a lot of people think कि land होना चाहिए, घर होना चाहिए. Land is a bit risky. You should really know your way around, all the legalities of it. Real estate is not great, especially in big cities of India. Uh, it like I remember if you bought a house in 2005 in big cities in India, it would have doubled or tripled in 10 years. अभी वो scene नहीं है. So I don't feel I mean I don't recommend real estate. So equity mutual fund seems good for me.
Yeah, again, that comes on a very personal choice. But the moment you mentioned that I don't want to think of buying a land, that's where it comes because you know that it's tricky.
Yes.
And women don't want to venture on tricky businesses that often.
Yeah.
It's a very manly thing to do. It's a very manly trait that they are high risk takers, and women are very less risk takers. Of course, it has to do with the way women have been functioning in the society, also, right?
And maybe biologically as well.
Yeah, we are just stepping out of our cocoons, whatever we were in for the past so many years. But it's a fact. And it is what it is. Yeah, I don't think so. I would also immediately go and think of buying a land. I would rather save or grow my capital first than to go and buy land. But having said that, there are many other places where women can put their money. their provident funds. There's the national pension scheme. Women also take a lot of insurance. So more towards gravitating towards security constantly. And of course, gold.
Yeah.
So those are some of the things. And I think women believe a lot in the power of compounding. So small savings will result into higher returns later on. So women follow that a little bit more. Okay, Richa, let's move on to the next section, which is the trivia section. And it's going to be super fun. I'm going to test your general knowledge mostly. Yeah. So, Richa, which sector women are employed the most? Rather, where do women participate the most?
Really taking a wild guess here. Give me two chances, okay?
Okay,
Agriculture.
you're right. 100 points to Gryffindor.
Gryffindor was your house.
Oh.
I'm Slytherin.
Oh, you are? Oh my God. Okay, now Shakti. So, it's one third of the population of women in India who participate in agriculture, which is like
It's a
60,
nurturing
more
job,
than
no?
60%. Yeah, it's a nurturing job. And given most of our money also comes from there,
Yeah.
and we still have a lot of population in the rural setup. So, yeah, women are employed a lot in the agricultural sector. Okay, second question. How much time women spend on unpaid work per day?
Per day.
You can give me in hours.
3 hours.
Really? You think your mom or your grandmother worked only 3 hours
No,
a
I'm
day?
saying now a working woman, she won't now.
Okay.
So, but I don't know. Most of the women population is still unemployed.
Yeah.
So, okay, since you gave me a hint,
Yeah.
6 hours.
It's actually 6 to 7 hours.
Okay.
I'll give that to you. It's according to an SBI report. So average of 430 minutes per day women are spending. And I think it is still very less because a woman's job never ends, you know. You go to office, you come back, you cook.
And how much time in office you are spending coordinating with the PI, with the child care,
Yeah.
with the nanny?
Yeah, I remember, I think there was Indra Nui during the COVID time where she was on a call, on a Zoom call, on a meeting, and her kid was still coming and asking her, like when the man of the house is still there,
Yeah.
but the kid is still going to the mom for, like, mom, what should I do with this? And
Where's the cookie jar?
yeah, yeah, exactly. Or where's the ketchup?
Right.
So, exactly, that's what I'm talking about. So, it never ends until everyone goes to sleep. I think women is the last to go to sleep.
True.
Like wrapping up all the kitchen work, getting ready for the next day, you know. So, everything comes under unpaid. And I think 6 to 7 hours is still a very less time that has been surveyed by SBI. Moving on to the next question. What do you think is the top reason that women are rejected when applying for loans?
Mm, lack of income or less income.
So yeah, you're on somewhere on the right path. Lack of income, lack of showing collateral. So these are few reasons why women are rejected twice as much as men to get loans. Yeah.
Okay.
Where have you personally invested money?
Equity.
Equity.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's it. No FD, no nothing.
Okay. Okay.
That's
And
equity.
and did you consult someone, your dad, your...
No, I did a basic course.
You did?
Then I opened a DMAT account
Oh,
and I did invest. Yeah.
that's cool. So, personally, for me, I've always reached out to either my male friends, my brother, or someone male to ask for financial suggestions where to put my money.
Yeah. Oh, so I did ask, but this was like my
You
financial
did?
coach who
Okay.
did
Yeah.
basic financial planning.
Okay. Okay. So you did put an effort in educating yourself on how the money is going to be.
Yeah.
Do you know any government schemes in India specifically launched for women to help them financially?
No, I know there are, but I don't know the names on
You
that.
don't know the names. Okay. Okay. I have at least two. You might have heard of Sukanya Samriddhi Yojana. It's for the girl, so girl child, whenever she's born and until the age of 21, you keep on investing some sum of money. I think the cap is 150,000 per year. And you can keep on investing, and then you can get a tax-free interest also on that. And when the girl becomes 21, she's gonna get that money. And the second one that I have is Mahila Samman Saving Certificate. It aims to inculcate a habit of savings in women. Women generally are resourceful and they do save, but not in a savings account where they're getting interest for the money. So we don't want the money to depreciate every year, with the rising rate of inflation. I think that's where this could be a good scheme from the government. And government has many such schemes. And some state governments are also taking initiatives. I think in Maharashtra only there was some Ladki Bahin Yojana, which was started recently. Moving on to the next question. So we spoke about pay gap earlier. So there is a report uh, for Indian women that said that it would take a long time for women to reach full, complete gender parity. And it said in some years. So can you take a guess at the number of years it would take for women to achieve full gender parity?
20 years?
You can go a bit more.
25 years?
Higher. Higher, Richa.
I think I lost my two chance.
134 years.
What?
Yes.
Oh my god.
I'm not sure if it's for India or for the whole world, but there was this survey done and it says that it's going to take 134 years for women to reach at full gender parity. So we still got such a long way to go, and people who are crying that it's the feminism, it's all a hoax, and women are already doing so much in every field.
Right.
We are, but we got such a late head start.
Right. True.
With that, let's move on to the iconic section. Richa, who is an absolute icon for you when it comes to the field of finance or in general, women handling money?
Right. So because I look up to businesswomen, it's a businesswoman, and she's the first self-made billionaire of America.
Wow.
And I recently saw a Netflix documentary on her. Her name is Martha Stewart, and she started as a stockbroker. Then she started her own catering business. Then she became a big brand, lifestyle brand, DIY brand in America. She was the original influencer
The OG.
or the OG
Yeah.
influencer of America. And yeah, she took her company to, being listed on the New York Stock Exchange. And she basically had a knack of converting ideas into money or income sources. And these were very feminine business ideas also. Like she was into how to decorate your house, how to bake a cake. So very feminine side of business, but she made money with that. And of course, she knew how to manage that money. That's how she could grow her brand so big. So yeah, I would say Martha Stewart.
Wow, that's so cool. I didn't really know so much about Martha Stewart. I just knew her that she was like a figure. Okay, I think I would like to share one icon. So I belong to the town of Jamshedpur, Tata Nagar. It was India's first steel plant city, and it was the home, not like the home of Tatas, but it was where Tatas emerged from, so to say. So in 1924, Tatas were going through an economic or a financial strain, and they were not able to pay their workers even the regular wages. That's where Sir Dorabji Tata and his wife, Lady Meherbai Tata, she was like an absolute the first of the OG of the feminists in India and the feminist movement in India. She had done a lot for child education and abolishing child marriages, and she had done a lot of work in that field. So when it came to this financial crisis, Meherbai Tata was gifted a diamond called the Jubilee diamond, which was twice the size of Kohinoor, and it was gifted to her by her husband. And she used to wear it for special occasions. So she decided to give away that diamond, and with that, they could save the business back then. And for that, I think she's an absolute icon to do that. Salute to her. Women have been so resourceful throughout history. They know their way around money, but somehow when it still comes to uh, where to put their money or owning their money or owning financial decisions, they still kind of take a step back. And I think that's what we want to do with this talk. We want them to think more and open their minds towards how they can utilize
Yes.
their money.
Take that power to handle.
Take their power, exactly. Yeah, it was a great conversation, Richa.
Same here, and
Yeah.
I love the trivia question.
You did? Okay. So let's wrap up today's conversation. And if you also enjoyed our conversation, and if you have some stories to share about how you handle money, how you view money, if you save money at all, or if you're spending all of it, write down in the comment section below. For more talks, subscribe, hit the bell icon, and we'll see you in the next episode.